What's up, AB Squad? This is your boy Abbas. Welcome back to the family. Welcome back to AB Reacts. Guys, I'm back and checking out another video. And if you know you're ready to see this one with me, do well to smash a like button, join the family, join AB React by clicking on your subscribe button and also a notification bell so you don't miss out whenever I upload a video. If you have recommendations, suggestions, guys, always do well to leave it right there in the comment section. Alright, AB Squad, there's no time to waste. Let's check this out.
I think that is a very high degree of difficulty put on anybody, and I do not think she is the perfect candidate. I tend to agree with Sarah that probably in a fully litigated primary, she probably would not have been the Democratic nominee, but we'll never know that. But I will tell you that, there's never been anybody who's had the difficulty of that situation, elevated that late in the campaign. Why?
Needed to run away from
Bill, I don't know if you know this, but the Vice President of the United States is basically shoved in a broom closet for 3.5 years.
I know.
You couldn't.
She was more popular in there.
Yes, well.
I mean, this idea that the idea in a mass media age that 107 days is not long enough to know somebody.
You are way overestimating the American people in terms of what they. No. You have someone like Donald Trump has become a universally known, understood, loved by some, hated by others over the course of being omnipresent for 8 years.
Okay.
Barack Obama becomes president of the United States after running for 2 years as president, runs a 50-state primary, is on television, does dozens of Democratic debates, and by the time at the end of that, most people knew who he was. Most people. Yeah. You drop somebody into the middle of the top of the ticket, 3 days out, 3 months out, you are going to have to spend a lot of time trying to introduce yourself to the country while also being in a steel cage death match with Donald Trump.
In this video, Bill Maher hosted a pair of particularly woke guests on Real Time with Bill Maher and ended up dismantling their arguments in spectacular fashion. It's a moment that underscores just how far things have gone when even Maher, someone who typically leans left, is compelled to call out the absurdity of certain narratives being pushed. Here's the kicker. The same voices that have spent years labeling conservatives as lunatic conspiracy theorists are now dabbling in their own wild election fraud theories. For years, conservatives have been advocating for reforms to safeguard election integrity, only to be dismissed or demonized by the left. Fast forward to today, and some of those same critics are crying foul about so-called nefarious election activities, essentially accusing Donald Trump of pulling off some grand electoral heist. The hypocrisy here is glaring. In this clip, Maher doesn't hold back. He methodically dissects the arguments of his guests, exposing their contradictions, hyperbolic rhetoric, and lack of coherence. Their attempts to defend their positions crumble under the weight of Maher's incisive critique. Let's dive into the moment where Bill Maher obliterates their logic and takes a stand against the very narratives that have begun to spiral out of control. This is one you won't want to miss.
Okay, but I don't know if you ever watched this show, but I had Michael Douglas on this week.
Yeah.
At the top, we were talking about this, and he made a very good point that every other country in the world can do it in months, sometimes weeks. Why can every other country do it in that short a period of time? Are they all so much brighter than America? I don't think so.
Well,
mostly parliamentary. I mean, there's literal reasons, right? We don't have a parliamentary system.
I mean,
we also have a First Amendment. We don't make people campaign this whole time. The American people want to give them $20, and so they can afford it. I mean, small dollar donors are arguably the worst thing that's happened to our politics, as it turned out.
It's a small dollar donor didn't make $20 billion. No.
A lot of it.
Some of it, yeah.
And they represent about 2% of our country.
There's a few special PACs in there that saw $100 million plus.
Those are bad too.
I think you can believe that you could have shorter elections in America, but it's not like we don't know. In Britain, for instance, when you have a short election, it's not like you don't know who the leader of the party is for months and years before that.
You're either the person who's Googling the day before, did Biden drop out, or in a week. Did anyone in this audience not know enough about Kamala Harris pretty much after a week to make a decision? No. Yeah, people.
How are you going to enforce that?
We just get sicker of them.
What? So
how are you going to tell people they can't talk about politics?
What?
How with free speech that I know you love?
Yeah.
How how are you going to limit people's ability to run for office?
I'm not limiting. We're not making a law.
Bill, are you?
Bill Maher was absolutely on fire in this episode of Real Time. While I don't always see eye to eye with him, I have to admit he nailed it here. His take on fixing American politics hit all the right notes. Eliminate lobbyists, ban third-party donations, and ensure politicians only earn their government salaries. No outside money, no backdoor deals, just a clean, transparent system. It sounds almost too good to be true. And let's face it, even in this dream scenario, corruption would likely find a way to creep in through under-the-table deals. That's the unfortunate reality of politics. What really stole the show, though, was how Maher expertly dismantled the arguments of his two woke guests. Honestly, I don't even know who they were. Their takes were so out there, it was hard to take them seriously. Maher, however, wasn't having any of it. With his trademark wit and sharp logic, he tore their points apart with precision, leaving them scrambling for a comeback. It was a masterclass in cutting through the noise.
I also think everything the candidates, especially the Democrats, do to get voters annoys them. The constant texting. Did you get the texts like from Tim Walz every 5 minutes and like always begging for money and knocking on doors? And we've got people knocking on doors. People don't want knocking on your door. Who in this day and age wants someone knocking on? Kids don't even like it when a phone call. That's like too much of a invasion of their privacy, which they don't care about. Who might emerge as the strongest Democratic opposition leader in the next Trump era? Oh, well, that's a good question. I mean, like Adam Schiff, he won right big. And
He won, but I like Westmore.
Westmore's fantastic. He's in Maryland.
Yep.
But who's going to be the one? Gavin Newsom, we have here in this state. He's already like called the legislature to. Trump hasn't done anything yet, but I understand the.
This was the problem. There was a 2014 study that showed that Fortune 500 companies were more likely to pick a female CEO if the company was struggling, basically setting women up for the big job, but to also fail. If they did well, fine. But if they failed, like, look, we have a female CEO while failing. And that's what I feel like they did to Kamala Harris. When Biden refused to step aside and not run a performance, and they set Kamala Harris up to fail. That was a 3-month campaign, and she was supposed to introduce herself to the American people. No wonder people were Googling, did Joe Biden drop out? And so...
No. You're saying 3 months wasn't long enough?
I mean,
it was too long.
It was long enough.
It was long enough.
If they had a primary...
It's not that they didn't have time to introduce. They met someone and they didn't like them.
If they had a primary, they wouldn't have picked her. And if they had, she would have been able to rough out those edges that then she basically has to start from scratch with a campaign team she didn't hire that didn't like her, right? It was his team.
The argument that the Democratic...
Alright guys, that was a very interesting one. That was an interesting video. Excellent one from Bill Maher. I mean, like, he's one person, or he's a type of man that, gets his audience, gets his, debaters think. Like, he will make you think, he will make you, want to, really think before you say something. So the video was just all about, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the US election. So if you really enjoyed that video, do well to smash the like button, join the family, join AB React by clicking on your subscribe button and then on your notification bell so you don't miss out when I upload a video. If you have recommendation, suggestion, guys, always do well to leave it right there in the comment section. Alright, every squad, I can't wait to see you in my next video. Until then, stay safe, stay blessed, and don't go away. Don't touch that dial, guys. Bye.